What's up guys? Welcome to DR Group channel. On this channel we talk about different topics, technology, development, but also business and finance. And today's topic is going to be REST API, specifically how you can upload or download a file from and on your REST API. So now let's go to Dimitri, and Dimitri is going to give you a little bit more explanation and then show you the coding.
Hello guys, in this video tutorial we will show you how to upload and download your file. We will take a look at the server side as well as client side, the web client, the HTTP client and HTTP request. So this is just a small part of the whole course that we have on Udemy, so check out the link in the description and let's get started. In this video I will show you how to upload and download a file. I will upload and download an image, but it could be anything else. So I already added one image to my project, to the root directory, to get simple access to it. Now let me add those two examples to the example controller. Right here we will create two new actions, and the first action will be the upload file, and this method is going to be the async method. The route will be simply /upload file, and this file will come from forum. And in order to this is going to be iForum file, and to able to use it we will have to add a new package, Microsoft ASP.NET Core.http features. So let's install it. Here we are, and the key is going to be image. Then we will have to make use of the memory stream. So we create a new object of memory stream, and then we will make use of try-catch statements, and basically we will add this file to the stream. And once you have it in your stream, you can do with it wherever you want. I will not save this file anywhere on my file system simply because of the permissions. This API does not have permissions to my file system, so it won't be able to save any file. Then if anything goes wrong, we will simply return the exception message, and if everything goes fine, we will return the length of the actual file. Alright, so let's give it a try. Let's click on play and get to the Postman. Now the action that we want to access is going to be upload file. Then we will have to provide the actual file. We can do so by going to the body, create a new key. This is going to be an image. Make sure that you have the file, not text or something like that. You need to select a file, and this option will allow you to browse for an image or for a file. So I have it right here. You see, when you create a key, it's saying text, so you will have to switch to the file, and then let me just show you. So file, and then you can simply select the file. Right. So I already have one key in one file. Let's just click on send and see if we get any response. And here it is. We get the actual size of that file. So this is how you can upload a file to the files to your API, and once you have it in your stream, you can do with this file, with this stream, whatever you want. You can convert it maybe from JPEG to PNG, or if it's text you can write it or append it or anything else. Next, let's take a look how to download the file. So the action should look something like this. We have again a route /download. This is going to be again the async method, and it will return an action result. And the method itself will simply call it download image. Next, you will have to create a buffer and provide the actual file. As I already said, my file is at the current directory. So that's why I'm accessing the current directory and providing the file name. Again, this can come from the query or from the body or from the form or anything like that, or maybe an ID is also possible. But for sake of simplicity, we'll do it like this. Then we will have to create a memory stream and add this buffer to it. Next, we will have to specify which type is it. So this is going to be the JPEG. And finally, we will be returning file stream results with memory string and the type. And the file will be downloaded with this name. So let's see it in action. Let's click on play. And this time we are not going to the Postman. We will simply do it right in the browser. We can just navigate to the /downloads. And this will download the image. Show in folder. And here it is. It's already the second one. Here is my image. So here we have two additional examples on how to upload a file and how to download a file using your API.
If you like this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe if you want to see our future tutorials about technology, business development, and we are also going to post a lot of discounts and promotions for our Udemy channel for all the courses that we are making, so stay tuned.
In this video, we will call our two last actions. Upload and download. We are going to skip action 10 and action 11 because there is really nothing special about it. I mean, there is nothing special for the client side. We just created those two actions 11 and 10 for the dependency injection reasons. But if you want to call these actions, simply call the action and provide your parameter. That's it, and you will get your result. So there is nothing special about it. However, for the upload file, this one is quite special. And download file, those two are very interesting to look at. So let us begin with the upload file. And the first thing that I'm going to do, I will prepare the file that I'm going to upload. And I have this file already downloaded in my downloads folder. Let me just show you. It looks like this. That's the file, that's the image. And I will simply copy this image into the root directory of my client app. So I will right click on it, open in Explorer, and navigate to the root directory. All right, and I will simply paste it right there. Why I'm doing it, you can save your file somewhere else. You can save it on your C drive or anywhere you like. I would like to save it in my current directory so that I will easily will get access to it quite easy. All right, so now that the file is ready, let's take a look at the action that we are going to call. So this is going to be the post upload file. That's the route name. And right here we have basically one parameter and one attribute from form, and then form file with the name image. And let's take a look at the actual methods or action, and this action will return the length of the stream back. So it will receive the image, it will calculate how big it is and send the length, the size of that image back to the client. So the first thing that I also wanted to show you is that iForm file, this can be a list. So if you are dealing with the many files, you can put this in a list, into a list, and then you will get your collection of your files. That's one option. Another option that we're also going to use is this attribute from forum, and this attribute has actually one parameter. You can see the name, and then you provide the name of the file that you are looking for. Not really a file, the name of the parameter that you are looking for. So this is kind of binding. This will help you to find the appropriate property that you want to have, because forum can contain many different parameters, right? So if you're looking for something called file, you can do so by saying name equals, and then you write the file right there. And that's exactly what we are going to do, actually. So let us leave this parameter right there. So we made slight modification to our upload file action. Let me just save it. And now let's go to the client API, and we will start with the web client examples. So the web client, let's open up that file, and we will create yet another method that will upload the file. So again, public static string upload file, and provide the action name. And right here we are going to use again the using statement and create the web client object. We'll call it web client equals new web client. Now let's take a look of options. What do we have inside of this web client object? If you write .upload, you will see that you have many different options right there. You can upload data async, upload file, that's the one that we are going to use, upload file async, and so on and so forth. So the one that we are looking for is this one, since we are uploading a file. Next, let's take a look at the parameters. We have 4 options. First one provides the address and the file name, both in the form of string. The another option is provide address in the form of URI, and then the file name. The third one is all 3 strings, address, method. So method, is it going to be the get, post, or delete, or anything else? And then the file name, and the third one is almost the same, except that you provide the URI as address. So let's go with this one. This is the third one. For our address, we will again create URI plus the action. For the method, this is going to be a post. And for the file, my file is located in the current directory, so I can access it by saying directory. This is coming from system.input-output. .get current directory, and then add the actual file name, which is how.jpg. And that's it. So this method will upload your file to the server. This is quite easy in my eyes. The web client, you provide your address, the post, and then the path. Now we also saw that our action upload file will return a length back, so it will receive the file and return the length back. So let's provide it to the UI. And to do that, I will create a byte array. Let's just call it results equals this action, this method, and then finally I will return. And I need to return a string, but I do have bytes over there, so I will have to decode it. I can do so by saying encoding.utf8, for example, .get string, and then provide the results. This will return the results back to my UI. Now back on my main window, let me go to the code behind. This is from the previous video. I will just comment this out, calling action 9. And right here I will create another result. Append data to the existing result, result.append, and the first result will come from the web client. So web client value, and then plus web client examples dot upload file, and I will have to provide the action name upload file. And just at the end I will add another new line, so environments dot new line. This will print the result from the web client. All right, so let's go ahead and test it. Let me first navigate to the example controller and put a breakpoint right there. And also for the minute, I will remove this binding right there. I will just show you what's going to happen if you don't have it. It's actually not quite a big deal. Let me just remove it for a sec. All right, click on run. We are hitting the breakpoint, and let's take a look first of all on our image, and it's saying that it's an URL. Our forum data, we can't investigate it right now. We actually should do that. Let me just stop it from running, and let's investigate our request. So var, I will create simple variable. This is just for temporary, you don't have to do it. I will remove it anyway. Let's say request is equals request dot form dot. Let's just put the whole form request inside this variable, and we'll take a look what's actually inside of it. So I will hit on play, start, and make a call. We are hitting the breakpoint. Again, the image is going to be an URL. Let's take a look at this request variable, and let's see what's actually inside. We do have files inside of it. However, our iForum file is saying that image is an URL, but our file is actually inside of our request. Let's take a look. The first one, and as you can see, this is our image. This is the image that I have provided. That's the name, the headers, the length of it, and that's the name of this parameter basically. So that's why I need this binding inside of my forum data. Otherwise, I will not be able to find it using iForum file. For this reason, I have added, and I will add again the binding. So this is the name equals file. Now if I will run it again, here we are, click on run, hitting the breakpoint. Let's take a look at our image, and there it is. Now we have our main image inside of this variable iForum file. And we have the file name, headers, lengths, everything we need. And finally, we will process everything and send the results back to our client. And as you can see, the web client value and then the size of the image that I have just uploaded or sent it to the server. Alright, so let me stop it from running. I will leave this line of code for a while. The purpose of this is just take a look at the request. I will remove it later on anyway. And so the next that we are going to do is the HTTP client. We will skip HttpWebRequest for a minute, and we will jump to the HTTP client first. So HTTP client, I will open up that class, and here at the end we will create yet another method to call upload file action. This is going to be again public. Static async task, and we will return the string, and we'll call it upload file and provides the action name. so let's be consistent, and let me just go one of those actions that we have created before. Any of those and I will just grab this piece of code when we create the HTTP client and we create the response and so on and so forth. I will just copy this line of code, paste it over here, and I will remove all unnecessary stuff that we don't need. For example, string content, we don't need it. And I will leave the response and all these things right there. So the point is we will have to provide the file to this content, which we don't have yet. So we'll have to create this content first, add image to it, and then call the post async action with this content, attach it. Let's see how we can do that. First thing that we are going to do, we will convert our image, read our image, and put it inside byte array. So bytes, I will simply call it data equals, and in order to read the image, I can do so by access the file class, and for this one I will have to add the using statement system.input/output. And then I can say file.read all bytes, there it is, and next I will have to provide the path. And the path, in my case, it is the directory.get current directory, and then provide the file name .jpeg. So this is how I can get the bytes. Next thing that I will have to do is create the byte array content. So byte array content, let me just call it byte array content, it's fine. Create the new one, and right here I will have to, as you can see, we have to provide the content in the form of bytes, or another option, content, and then offset and count. We will go with the first option, simply provide the content, so it's just data. That's just fine. Next, let's create the actual content, and we can do so by saying multi-part forum data content. That's the one that we need, and I will call it the content equals new multi-part forum data. That's just fine. And the next thing, I will add this byte array content to the content. So content.add, and then add these byte array contents to it. We will also, let's just take a look at this add options. What do we have? We have 3 different options. We can just simply add content to it. We can add content and then provide the name and then the file name. So let's stick with this third one. And again, the reason is because back on our example controller, we do use this binding right there. So that's why we are not just simply going to provide the content, but we will also add additional information to it. For example, like this is the file, and the next one, the file name, it's completely up to you. What do you put right there? I will just grab the name of my file, which is HOW, and that will do just fine. Okay, so this file, this string right there, we need it for the binding back on our server side. That's this. Okay, so let's test this one. I will go to the main window and append yet another result. All right, so I added another line to my result string. I will call the HttpClient and add new line. And here in between, we will later on add the HttpWebRequest. All right, so let's click on start. Actually, I will have to wait for it as well. So let's click on start and let's see the result. Click on run. We are hitting the breakpoint. Let's take a look at our image. Image is inside of our variable. We have all the informations right there. Let's just continue. Get back to our clients, and here we have HTTP. I'm missing the P right there. Client value is equals and the size. So that's it for the HTTP client, and the next thing that we are take a look at is HTTP web request. So I will open up the HTTP web requests examples class, and here we will create yet another method. The upload example, again, this is going to be public, static, we will return string, upload file, and provide the action name. Now for the HTTP web request, this is going to be a little bit relatively complicated, and the reason why is because the possibilities of HTTP request are endless. As I already said previously, you can provide not just one file, but a collection of different files. And yes, that's why you will have to take care of many things. Many things like, for example, boundaries. So let me just, I will copy paste the code and explain it to you. And let us begin with the boundaries. So the boundary is going to be a simple string, and basically this is a delimiter for your content. And your content will exist at a stream. So we need this boundary, we need this delimiter to separate our contents. One image from one file from another file, and so on and so forth. So that's why we will create this string, and it doesn't have to be this way, but it's just one way of doing it. This datetime.now.ticks will simply generate a quite unique string, which we can use as a delimiter. So the next thing, we will create the actual request. So here nothing special, we are creating the request, HTTP web request, calling this create methods, providing the URI plus the action. We have seen it before in previous methods, and what else we're going to say is that the request content type is equal multi-part form data. And at the end of it, we will add the boundary equals and then provide the actual boundary that we just created before. Another thing that we will do is we will declare tell that the request method is an post method. Now the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to start write data into our request. So to write data into our request, we will have to use the stream. For these purposes, we can start with the using statement, stream, I will just call it stream, equals request.get request stream. And the first thing that we want to write into the request are those boundaries that we had created before, stream. But before we do that, we will have to convert it into the byte array, because we can't just write a string into the stream. That's why I'm doing this conversion, encoding UTF-8 gate bytes, and please pay attention, this is required. So new rule, new line, dash dash, plus the actual boundary, and then again you add at the end /r/n. We will convert it into the bytes, and then we will write it into our request stream. The next thing that we will have to write into our request stream is the header template. Actually, we would like to create the header, but before we create the actual header, we will start with the creation of header template. And this is going to be a simple string which is equal to this string right there. Content dash disposition, forum data, And then we will have to provide the name and the value, which we will provide later on. The file name, again with the value which we will provide later on, /r/n, and then the content type, and this one we will provide later on as well. And at the end, again, you will have to add twice /rn/rn. So this string will represent our header template. And now we will create the actual header. So again, this is going to be a string which we will eventually format, and we will format it with the header template that we just created before. We will provide the file. This is necessary for the binding. So back on our example controller, right there we have the binding. That's why we're saying that the here file provided as a string. And here we will have to provide the actual path for your image. So you can write it right there, or you can create yet another string, string file, which is equal to, in my case, this is going to be the directory dot get current directory plus the actual file name. So this string will represent the file path actually. Let me just maybe change it to file path. And the third parameter that we will have to provide is again coming from here, content type. That's the last one, is going to be multi-part form data. So our header template, which we created before, now we will fill this header template with the information. The first parameter, that's the one, the name, the file path, the file name, and the content type is going to be multi-part form data. And the next thing that we will have to do, we will have to write this header into our request. And again, we can't write the string, we will have to convert it into the bytes array. So I will create yet another variable type of byte array and convert this header into the byte arrays. And now we can write it into the stream. So stream.write provides this byte array starting with the 0 and then header.bytes.length. Next thing that we will have to do, we will have to grab the actual data of our file, of our image in our case. We will have to grab the bytes. And for these purposes, we can use the file. So let's start with the using statement. And we will use the file stream. I will just call it file stream. And for this file stream, I will provide the file. This is going to be actually the file path. And I would like to open it and I would like to read it. Now that we have this file inside our file stream, we can convert it again into the byte arrays and write it into our stream. And you can do it by using this small function if you want. So you create a buffer, you create the bytes array starting with the 0, and then you use the while statement to write all these bytes inside of your stream. So this part of code will get the bytes from our image and write it into our stream, into our request stream rather. And we are not yet done. We will have to also add a trail to our request. And the trail, again, this is going to be a type of byte array. You can convert it into ASCII or UTF-8, it's up to you, choose whatever you like. Get bytes, and again, this is not something that I have invented, this is required /r/n --. You add your boundaries to it and you close it again with /r/n. Again, this is not something that I have invented, these are kind of the rules how it should be. Once we have this trail in the form of byte array, we can immediately write it into our request stream by saying stream.write, and again provides the trail, the starting position, and the length. So this is how you create the request. As you can see, is quite a lot, relatively a lot. But this is the minimum code that you will have to write in order to upload one image using the HTTP web request. You can also add some additional information to your requests. Maybe it's also a good idea. For example, if you are dealing with the files, it can take a while for the upload. You probably will have to say keep alive, I believe. Yes, keep alive, and you put it to true, something like that, just to keep your connection alive, because uploading of files can take a while and you want your connection to be to stay alive. In our case, this doesn't really matter because we are working on the local machine. Everything will happen quite smooth and quite fast. But I just wanted to point out that there are many other things that you probably will have to take care of. But this code, this part, is basically kind of minimum what you will have to write in order to update an image. So, and finally, we will have to submit our request. Let's just, this is going to be the same. I will grab it from previous action, the response type. This will stay the same, no changes there. So HTTP response, we will get the response and send it back to the UI. So that's it. Let's go ahead and test it. And of course, before I click on play, let me navigate to my code behind main window, and I will add another result, append another string to my result, and this will come from HTTP web request value will be equals to HTTP WebRequest.upload file, and provides the actual action name plus environment.newline. So that's it. Let's make a call. Here we are. Application has been launched. Let's click on run. And we do hit our breakpoint back on our server, example controller. Let's take a look at the image variable, and this variable contains all information again. Let's just continue. That's the third one. This is coming from the HTTP web requests. Again, all the information is right there, and we should hit this breakpoint once again. This is HTTP client. Again, all the information is right there, and hit on continue, and we should see all values are right there from the web client, from the HTTP web request, and from the HTTP client. So that's it for this video. Let's do a quick recap. Again, the web client example is most easiest one, but it's quite kind of limited in its functionality, but it's quite easy to upload an image using the web client. Then we had HTTP web request, which is, as you can see, can get quite complicated pretty fast. You will have to write a lot of information inside of your request stream and you will have to convert everything into the byte and write it into to the request stream by saying stream.write and so on and so forth, and only then you will get your response. And then again, HTTP client, it's not that difficult. You just have to remember that you need to create this content, and this content will actually the file will be attached to this content, and this is how you can do it. So that's it for this video, and I hope you learned something new, and I see you in the next one. So let's make a call to our last action, the download image. And for sake of simplicity, I will download this image inside of into my downloads folder. All right, so let me again start from with the web client examples. Add yet another action. This is going to be the last one, and we will download. And again, this is going to be public static string download file string action. So how do we do that with the web client? Again, web client is going to be quite easy. Using statements, web client equals new web client. And let's take a look what do we have from the options. So if I will access this object dot and I will simply write downloads, what do we have? We have download string, we have download file right there, download data and download file async, and we have some other options as well. But the one that we want, let's use download data. And let's take a look at the parameters. We have two options. Option number one, when we have to provide the address, and option number two, same thing, address, but in the form of URI. So let's maybe grab this one. Let's quickly create a new URI. You can provide the string if you want. For this one, I will have to add the using statements apparently. So the URI plus the action, and this method download data will return the bytes, a byte array actually. So we will have to put it inside byte array equals let's call it data equals this method webclient.download data. And finally, we can write this data by using file, for example, file class to create the actual image. So this is going to be file dot write all bytes I think. And let's take a look at the parameters. We will have to provide the path and actual bytes. So for the path, I said I will save it into my downloads directory, but it doesn't really matter. I can also save it into my C drive, not a big deal. And I will have to create, establish the name for my file. I will call it webclient.jpg. Okay, now this is going to complain. I will just add this at the beginning. All right. This is how we can create our new file. So now we can use this byte array data to create the actual file on our file system. And for this, we can use the file class dot write all bytes. And let's see what we have of options. We have only one options, the option where we have to provide first the path and then the actual bytes. So my path is going to be the download folder. We'll have to add the at the beginning to escape the backslashes. And the second parameter that I will have to add are the actual bytes. So this is data. And this will create a new file for me. Also, I will have to establish the name for the file that I'm going to create, and will add it right here at the end. And I will call it webclient.jpg. All right, and finally I will have to return something. I need to return a string. I will simply return something like return maybe the path where I saved my file. Again, I will add at the front to escape the backslashes, forward slashes. So that's it for the web client. As usual, very easy. Let's not test it right now. Let's move on to the HTTP web request, and then to the HTTP client, and we'll test all these actions at once. So for the HTTP web requests, let's open up that file, create yet another method. This is going to be the download, public static string download file and string action. We will start with creating the actual HTTP web request. HTTP web request equals the request, equals web request dot create and provides the URI. This is going to be URI plus the action. And we will also have to cast it to HTTP web request. So let's do a cast right there. So we have our request, and then again using web response equals request dot get response, and again we will have to cast it. So let's do the cast to the HTTP web response. And now we will have to simply catch the information that we will get from our response and write it into the file. For these purposes, we will have to use I think the file class, but also the stream. We'll have to use it anyway. So let's create the stream. I will just call it stream equals response dot get stream, and now I can use this stream to copy. So copy to, and then I will have to provide the destination, but the destination is actually the file which does not exist yet. So we will have to create it as well. We can do it in one line by saying file, actually the same thing what we have done in the WebClient, dot create. So I will provide the file name and the file path inside of my downloads folder, and I will call it HttpRequest.jpg. And finally, again, I will simply return the path where I saved my file. The file name is maybe not necessary, just the path will do just fine. So in downloads folder. So that's it for the HTTP web request. Maybe one thing that you will have to take care of again is the timeouts and the time, because you're dealing with the files, with the images, upload, download. This can take a while. Maybe you will have to establish your timeout. You can do so by saying request.timeout and then put it on some value, for example 30,000. So this is one thing that you maybe want to have inside of your request. And the other thing, let's see, request.allow stream buffering. Maybe that's the good one to have. You can put it on true as well. So that's it. That's basically it. This is the minimum code that you will have to write for the HTTP web request in order to get the image from the API. Again, we will not test it right now. Let's move on to the HTTP client. So we will create the last method right here, the download, and this is going to be again public static async task that will return a string, and we'll call it download file. So here again we will create the HTTP client object, HTTP client, call it client equals new HTTP client. Next we will simply have to grab the response actually. So using HTTP response message. This is going to be the response equals new HTTP request response message equals client dot get async, and right here we will have to provide the URI plus the action. So now that we have our response, I think we will have to await for it as well. Await, because this is an async method. Now that we have our response, we can again check if it's successful status code or not. So the response dot is successful status code. If it is true, then we can write the file into the new file, actually write the stream into the file. So I will create a stream, call it stream equals again await response dot content dot read as stream async. So I'll read the stream from the response, put it inside this stream, and now I can write it into the file. And of course I will have to create this file as well. So stream.copy2, and right here we will have to create the file.create, provide the path, close it, and at the end we will simply return the path where we saved our file, like this. And again, it's always good to check if there was any exception. Let's put it in the else statements. Throw new exception response phrase. So that's it for the HTTP client. Quite easy to do. You create your client object, HTTP client. You create your response message. You get your response from the get async. So you have your response inside the response object, and then you check for status code if you want, if successful status code, or you can just check for the status code for a particular one. And finally, you put the response gets content read as stream async. You put it inside of a stream, and then you can write it into the new created file. That's it for the HTTP client. Now let me go to the main window and we will test our application. So I will open up my main window, code behind, and append all other results to my result variable. So I will be downloading the image using the WebClient, WebClient examples download file. I will also download the same image using the HttpWebRequest, HttpWebRequest download file. And finally, I will download again the same image using the HttpClient, HttpClient examples download file. So I should end up with 3 copies of it. Before I click on play, let me just check my downloads folder. I do have one file, which is the original file, the file that I have uploaded to the server. That's the one. So now I will expect the three copies of this file right there. Click on play. The API has launched. Click on run. And we do get our results back. The image has been downloaded 3 times. Let's check into the side of the downloads folder, and yes, indeed, we do have them. Let me open up one of them. That's the image, and with WebClient, that's the same image. So that's it for the downloads part. Again, let's quick recap. The WebClient. Nothing special. Don't forget to put it inside a byte array, and then you will have to write this byte array into the file, provides the path and the data, and that's basically it. For the HTTP web request, also nothing special. Maybe you will have to take care of some timeouts or keep it alive, the connection, things like that. It's up to you. It's depending on your scenario, on your situation. And for the HTTP clients, also nothing really special. You get your stream from the response.content read as stream. And this is how you get your stream, and once you have this stream, you can copy it or create a new file. That's it for the whole tutorial. This was quite a long journey. We have seen the web clients, the HTTP web request, and the HTTP client. We have created our API as well, the server side. Now, if you are wondering what to do with the item controller, order controller, and the user controller, well, I will leave it up to you. You can call those actions in these controllers if you like. You should have, by now, you should have all the examples ready to go. So back on your client API, we have called everything from almost everything from the example controller. So you basically have a library and you should know how to make a call with the query, with the forum body, upload and download image, and so on. So that's it, guys. Take care, and thank you very much.